Brian, you want to add to that?
Oh, I was just going to respond. Rebecca had a good comment or question about QuickBooks, saying that her accountant had said that QuickBooks is slow, and the fear is that if it's slow and they're being billed hourly, that's not ideal. I don't find QuickBooks Online to be slow at all. I think there's a lot of technology built in with it, and if your accountant knows what they're doing and is leveraging it correctly, it shouldn't. If you're getting a large bill from your accountant and they're blaming the software, that's on them not using the right tools. That's not an acceptable answer.
Oh, go ahead, Cassie.
Sorry, I'm just going to go ahead and do this here just because that's something that I've actually heard often and I've actually heard it both with the desktop as well as the online, because with online, people will say, well, I see it on my credit card every single month. And that's why I need to do that. But I've also heard people go, well, I prefer a desktop version, whether it's QuickBooks or whatever it may be. I prefer because it's there. It's always a reminder. I've got my icon right on my desktop. So it's E to C right there. So I've heard both ways. It can go one way or the other. With that said, it's extremely easy to fall into that trap, exactly what you're saying, where even myself, we literally go in and help other people with their books. And I've caught myself going, oh, it's been a hot little minute since I've gone and done ours directly for our firm here. So it's really easy to get into that habit. So it's not a you as an investor, it's literally every single business owner can get caught into this trap. So utilizing those benefits you've got, like with your calendar, setting your recurring monthly, we're doing this at this time, can be extremely beneficial. And even if you have an accountability partner where you just say, we're going to do a Zoom call, we're sitting down at 10 o'clock this time, first or second Monday of every single month, or whatever day you want to do. We're doing this. Not that we need to talk to each other or anything else. It's we're holding each other accountable and saying we're sitting down and doing this at this moment. If you don't have the cash flow to do a bookkeeper yet, that's fine. Don't worry about it. But make it a priority to go through and evaluate what's going on there. Because oftentimes there's going to be things you catch that will completely alter how you manage your next month, quarter, or even the rest of the year that you wouldn't have done before.
Absolutely. Brian, you want to add to that?
Oh, I was just going to respond. Rebecca had a good comment or question about QuickBooks, saying that her accountant had said that QuickBooks is slow, and the fear is that if it's slow and they're being billed hourly, that's not ideal. I don't find QuickBooks Online to be slow at all. I think there's a lot of technology built in with it, and if your accountant knows what they're doing and is leveraging it correctly, it shouldn't. If you're getting a large bill from your accountant and they're blaming the software, that's on them not using the right tools. That's not an acceptable answer. And I would say, just like Mitch had said, he doesn't want to pay accountants to learn the tax code. You shouldn't be paying accountants to learn QuickBooks software. So I would push back if someone's saying they just keep saying QuickBooks Online is slow. It's not a slow software. There's a lot, and for the context of the accounting community was QuickBooks Desktop for 20 or 30 years. Just that's the only thing you did, and the transition to online has been very painful. And a lot of accountants hate QuickBooks Online because, like anyone, they hate learning something new. But it really is the same software. The buttons are just in different places, and that learning curve is frustrating for people. But it's I personally think it's a really, really good quality software. And but like you'd mentioned Wave, I've heard great things about it. I personally haven't used Wave, but I have used a couple different other ones that were decent. But for me, QuickBooks it does a lot of good stuff. So
yeah, I would recommend that you not get too creative. I mean, I know that we're looking to save money, but sometimes you waste more money trying to save money, finding some obscure software program that maybe is a little bit cheaper. But if you can't find anybody, if the number of people who can actually use that software is a tenth of all the accountants and bookkeepers out there, then the pool of folks that you can choose from is going to be that much smaller. Cassie, you want to mention something?
Yeah, I do feel like I need to kind of mention here. So this is my office. I honestly can't say for anyone else's office and such. We do a mix between hourly work and a flat rate, depending upon what's going on. There are some clients where we have to do hourly because we're just digging into some crazy stuff. There's others where it's simple enough. I know, what we can anticipate there and give a flat rate. With that said, no matter what it is we do, we always keep track of the time we invest with notes that go with it. And for myself as a business owner, I'm always reviewing and going, okay, is the time invested making sense? Because at least for me, it's, I have to be able to account for that if anyone ever asks. So if it ever comes down to a point where if you are doing an hourly, if a bookkeeper or accountant or someone else is paying hourly, ask them what they do to kind of keep track of that, their notes and things like that. For me, I am always more than willing to send over what those hours look like, what those breakdowns are. And it's literally down to the date of when things were worked and everything that goes with it. Whatever accounting software you use, find someone who's comfortable with it. If you are using Xero, for example, I'd probably say our office could do it. It might take us a little bit to figure it out, but we can. It's just not a software we use all the time. But don't turn around and say, no, I don't want QuickBooks Online, because by theory, it goes a little bit slower than what desktop does. It may not be the case because someone like myself or my team that I've got, we're pretty quick in it and we can move fairly quickly. So asking us to do something else with me, it'll take us longer than what it is to pursue that. So there should always be the transparency there. It should always be able to say, okay, this is what it is, what you can look for. And if your bookkeeper, for example, Rebecca, is preferring desktop, have at it. Like I said, for us, we can go in and play in desktop all day, every day. It's not a problem. It's just a matter of whatever you and your relationship and what feels good for you, what feels good for your accounting team, then that is the best fit. So don't get stuck in the don't because of specific speeds. It's whatever is in harmonious vibration for everyone involved will be that sweet spot for everyone.